Hello, my friends. You've probably heard that the PMP exam has questions that are of a situational nature. So today, we're going to learn some tips and tricks to get us to a better place on the exam. So let's start off with what we have on the screen. It reads, you are a project manager of an Agile team using Scrum. 2 team members are in conflict. What should you do next? Should you interpret the source and stage of the conflict? Should you recommend a problem-solving approach for both individuals? Should you solve the conflict in question for the individuals to get along? Or should you recommend an avoid strategy to prevent more conflict? Spend about a minute and see what you can come up with. And I'll tell you the answer in a few moments. All right, the best answer to this, my friends, can be gleaned by using, again, the process of elimination. So let's start from the bottom up. So 2 team members are in conflict. What should you do next? Recommending an avoid strategy to prevent more conflict is not in the spirit of Agile. First of all, conflict should be looked at as a necessary step that happens in team evolution. And conflict could be constructive, could be destructive, but nothing tells us that this is really bad conflict that you should at all costs avoid, you see. Even if recommending an avoid strategy right off the bat is not a good strategy. So you need to know a little bit more about what they are in conflict over, the nature, the source, and things like that. So we won't choose D. And C, solve the conflict in question for the individuals to get along. No, they should resolve the conflict themselves. Rule number 1 is do not be the conflict solver. Be the conflict resolution facilitator. There's a big difference. Option B, recommend a problem-solving approach for both individuals. Again, while it sounds good, it is presumptuous for you to say it's got to be problem-solving. And it's also presumptuous for you to solve the problems or solve the conflict for the individuals involved. So you got to look out for these things on the exam, those options that make you the conflict solver or are presumptuous. You want to be aware of those. But finding out where is this coming from, what is going on, that should be a first step. So the best answer to this, my friends, is number 1, is A, interpret the source and stage of the conflict. All right, let's go to our next one. Number 2, it reads, on your Agile project, the team members need guidance. They have no clear definitions of ready or definition of done. Because of this, they cannot judge completeness consistently. They are not respecting the time box, and they are unable to use work in process limits. What should the project manager do next? I'm going to give you some time to think about this, and I'll be back shortly with the rationale. All right. Well, I hope this gave you sufficient time. If you need more time, do hit the pause button. All right, let's take a look. So, the bottom line here is that there are a number of issues. They cannot judge completeness. That's the definition of done, right? They have no clear definitions of ready. That's definition of ready. They're not respecting the time box. That's the cadence. They're unable to use work in process limits. So, which option solves all of these problems? Is it A, create a project management plan with clear governance guidelines? No, it's not. That has no definition of ready or done. And it also does not have the guidance as far as completeness and work in process limits. So that would not be the answer. B, work with the team to create the definition of done. This is not a bad thing to do, but it still does not address the definition of ready. It does not address completeness. And as far as the cadence, the time box, and the WIP limits, doesn't have it in there. Let's take a look at C. Work with the team in defining acceptable behavior and communication rules. That's not bad, but still, it does not address DOR and DOD. The best option that addresses everything mentioned is a working agreement, also known as a team contract or a team agreement or a social contract, team contract. All those words would do. And this is on page 49 and 50 of the Agile Practice Guide. And that's why the best answer here is D. I hope this helps give you an idea of how the questions are framed. You can see it boils down to what should the project manager do next? What should you do next? That's the theme. Imagine 160 plus questions that have this theme. Few of them may not, but a lot of them do. And that's what I need you to get into the mindset of. What should the project manager do next? I hope this helps you, my friends. I look forward to seeing you on the next video. If you didn't already know, this is from the people domain, and we'll take a look at some other questions in the next video.